Today we are talking all about Cocoknits. Hello and welcome to Knit Chic. My name is Natalie and I am the cheek behind Knit Chic, and today we are talking all about Cocoknits. We are going to be talking about the hits and misses, in my opinion, in huge letters, in my opinion. This is just a video that I decided to film after filming the what did I call it? It was a video like where I did all the things that you don't need, all the tools that you don't need for knitting. And I talk about like what was essential and what was not essential for knitting and getting started for knitting. And again, to get started with knitting, you really only need yarn, needles, your hands, and like an idea. But there are so many things out there that make knitting easier and just nicer, more organized, and easier on the brain and more put together. I don't know where I'm going with this, but there are lots of tools that have been invented and designed to make the knitting experience better. And one of the biggest contenders and brands for that is Cocoknits. This video is not sponsored by Cocoknits. They don't know I exist. I am just making this out of my own opinions, and they are 100% genuine. I thought about using this video as an excuse to spend $200 on Cocoknits things to try out, but then I was like, you know what? No, I can't be doing that. I have to be responsible. So I'm just going to be doing a window shopping for the majority of these products because I don't own them, and then I will show you some of the products that I do own. I'm also going to be adding all of my favorites from today's video into my cart so we can see at the end how much I would hypothetically spend if I was shopping at Cocoknits. So Cocoknits was founded in 2007, and they are an online company, and they are in like every local yarn store that I have ever been to. I've seen Cocoknits in. So they are a huge brand, using the hands a lot here. I don't know why, but they are a really big brand. Say what you will about Cocoknits. I think that their stuff is quite expensive, but they're obviously doing something right because people are buying it. They have a lot of products, and I think that some of them, the quality is definitely worth the price, but that is going to be different for everybody and everybody's budget. Cocoknits has a beautiful brand aesthetic, and actually when I was getting ready to film this video, I was like, what am I gonna wear? And I was just wearing this t-shirt like just about my day. I was like, you know what, this t-shirt is actually perfect because it's kind of on brand. Cocoknits is very, I don't want to say beige. I mean, yeah, it's very beige. Their aesthetic is very clean, very neutral, but they do have a lot of pops of colors in their tools and accessories. So it's just a really fun aesthetic that they definitely have their own vibe. Cocoknits is all about thoughtful design, natural materials, and a sustainable approach to knitting tools. Some of their products are made with stuff like PLA, which is a biodegradable plastic derived from plants, recycled plastic, paper, and linen. Let's get started. I am going to go through their products categorically. So I have put all the things they have for sale in a couple categories. So we have stitch markers, bags, knitting tools, knitting garment care, blocking, and then like knitting pattern accessories. As I'm rating these, I'm going to give them either 4 ratings, the top rating being add to cart, meaning that I would buy it. I would try it is the second category, meaning I'm not ready to buy it, but I would try it. Pass or not for me is the third one. And then my fourth category is who would buy this, which is like the lowest category here that I don't see anyone who would buy it. So those are the 4 categories. Add to cart, I would try it. Pass, not for me. Pass / not for me, and who would buy this. So those are the 4 categories for my rating system, really in depth. So let's start off with bags. Cocoknits has 5 different bags for sale on their website. And we're gonna go ahead and start off with the craft bin. It is made from washable white craft paper, and it comes in 3 different sizes. The small is $12, the medium is $14, and the large is $16. And these are just really plain bins. They got all sorts of pictures of ways you can use them. They even used one for like a plant. These are not for me. This is a pass for me. I just don't use that type of storage for yarn or any knitting projects. I like to keep all my yarn tucked away and safe from moths. I do use some project bags. I like a thin project bag that I can throw into a regular purse, or like a project bag that's like a tote so I can throw other things in there. So these are just not practical for me and something that I personally wouldn't use. But if you're interested, they are actually 30% off right now due to a manufacturing error. I guess they're less than perfect, and instead of having to go through them and decide which ones are damaged, they are just selling them for a hefty discount. So let's move on to the next bag, which is the natural mesh bag. And this is a tiny little natural mesh bag made out of paper mesh, I believe is what they are calling it. Where is this? Made from natural paper mesh. It is 6 by 6 by 6. It accommodates 1 large or 2 to 3 small balls of cake of yarn, and it's got snaps at the top. I love this, and I would try this. I don't know if I would purchase it right away. I just don't have like a need for more bags, but I have a couple that I'm already using. But I do like that this is made from natural materials. All the bags that I use are either cotton or the ones from Delaque. I don't know what they're made out of, but they're not a natural substance. They're like a plasticky substance, and I do find them very useful. This is a much more basic version. I mean, there's no pockets, there's no bells and whistles here. It's just a bag, but I do like it. I think for the price, for me, is not something that I'm going to add to the cart right now, but I would try this. I definitely would try this cute little mesh bag. Let's move on to the jute tote bag, and that is a basic bag that just says Cocoknits on it. It's 15 by 12 by 5 inches, and it is made out of jute, and it's just a square tote. It does have a nice base to it. I think it has a side pocket, but I think that's the only pocket. I don't know if it has any pockets on the inside. There's no pictures of the inside, so I'm going to assume it just has the one outside pocket. They say that it's ideal for a sweater quantity of yarn. I like this bag. I feel like this is a really cute reusable bag. I personally have plenty of reusable bags, so I don't need this. But I don't think that $10 is bad for a jute tote like this if it's something that you needed. If I was at a yarn store and bought a bunch of yarn and I didn't have a reusable bag with me and they gave me the option to buy one of these, I probably would. I would buy that. But I frequently have a bag with me when I'm in a yarn store. Okay, next up are 2 bags that are like DIY assembly. The Craft Caddy. It's $28 for this square base of a bag. So this is only part of the bag, unless you want to use it just like this. But if you want the straps, those are sold separately. This is 6 by 11.5 by 6.5. And I am really tempted to put this in the who would buy this category, because I feel like $28 for half of this bag is kind of a lot of money. And it's made of sturdy washable paper, so it's not like it's leather or something expensive. I have seen this bag in person and I felt like it was really small. So I don't know. I don't love this bag. I could see maybe why somebody would like the size, like the squareness of it and the sturdiness, the shallowness of it maybe. Like if you were somebody who wanted to carry like your stuff around the house. Like this is not a going out bag because it's not very deep. But for me personally, I would rather spend $28 on like one of those nice baskets that they sell at the like every yarn event, every yarn festival. They have like those, I think they're African made baskets. And I like those a lot. And they're probably, you could probably get a small one for $28. I think the last time I was there, I was eyeballing one and it was like $32. So for $4 extra, you could have this nice basket. The leather handle kit that goes with this is $20. So you're looking at $48 for this bag. That's a pass for me, for sure. And I'm questioning, is anybody buying this bag? Because I can't imagine spending that on that, but I don't know. If you've bought it, if you like it, please let me know. I'm dying to know, is anybody buying this bag? The next one is very similar, and it's coming in at $18 for the 4-corner bag. There are 3 different sizes. The small is 18, the medium is 19, and the large is 20. And they have a girl walking around with her flowers. This one, I feel like I I like the design, the intuitive design of this. I like the idea of it. Like, it looks really unfinished to me, but it's kind of cute. Like, she's got the bag full of croissants. I would take that bag of croissants, please. I don't know. There's something about it that gives me market vibes or like something like that. But for me personally, that price is still, I just feel like that's way too much for that. $18, and then you're going to spend $22 on the straps, giving you $30 for this bag. And I feel like I could just spend $30 on other things, other more stable bags, like a nice basket. So those are the bags by Cocoknits. So let's move on to knitting pattern accessories. And by that, they have like a notebook, a pattern stand, a ruler, magnet, and some pencils. So let's go through those items. Let's start off with the project portfolio. This project portfolio is $38 and it is made out of washable craft paper fabric. It has 2 interior pockets and it's held closed with an elastic band, and they send you all sorts of colors so you can decide what color you like. I think these look really great, like really good quality. They also show you a picture of the paper, what it looks like washed and unwashed, if you kind of want to give it that washed, worn look. These are, I think, designed to go with their Cocoknits sweater worksheet journal that you can stick in there. It's got those elastics so you can put kind of like, what do they call those, like phyllo binders. I think this looks great. I think it looks great quality. I would try this. For $38, I feel like it's a little steep, but I think some of the things that they come out with are pricey, but like the design and the quality looks good to me. And this is one of those items where I would try it. Let's move on to their recycled paper pencils. For $8, you get 3 pencils. Who's buying this? I just feel like regular pencils are fine. I don't see the need to do, I don't know, I guess if you're trying to save on wood, the more eco-friendly way would to go with recycled paper. I don't know. For me, I don't really use pencils that often. Mr. Cheek has pencils that he uses from like Home Depot, you know, when he's working, but I don't know. I'm just not into these pencils. I don't need pencils. I do think that the little sharpener is cute though. I don't think $8 for 3 pencils, a little like pencil holder and a sharpener is that bad. I think that's, you know, you get this little pencil case with it. So you know what? Okay. Let's put this in, just not for me, not who is buying this, because I actually could see people buying this if they needed some pencils. Moving on to the maker's board, and this is a like a chart board for your knitting charts, and it is $36. It is 11 by 9, and it is made of sturdy washable paper. It is magnetic. I actually was playing with this at the yarn store recently. I was thinking about purchasing it, but I didn't commit because I already have this Knitter's Pride one, which like obviously is nowhere near as cute, but when I was playing around with the Cocoknits one, I couldn't figure out how to get it to kind of like sit sturdily. This one has like these snaps on it so that when I stick it on my table, it's very sturdy. Like she's not going anywhere. When I was messing around with the Cocoknits one, it felt a little bit like flimsy. Like there's no way to like lock it into place. Like, you know, when you fold up your iPad so it's sitting on a triangle, like there was nothing to hold it like that. But now I'm looking at the pictures and I see that they have like a magnet that they use to keep the board from sliding. I love this and I would like one. I would like to purchase this. I'm going to add it to my cart. I like the craft one. I think the price, it's high, but I do like this. It comes with magnets. I like that it goes so well with some of the other stuff they have. Like you can see a picture. They have this ruler for sale. They have their tools on there and the stitch markers. So this is really cute. I really like this. I happen to think this is worth it and I'm putting it in my cart. Next up are a couple of accessories that you can buy in addition to the board. And I just have a colorful magnet set. So if those beige magnets weren't enough for you, now you can spice up your board with some colorful magnets. So these are, I would try these out for $12. I don't think I would buy them on top of the board just because I think I would just stick to the magnets that I already have. I would try them. Okay, next up is the ruler gauge set, and I am adding this to cart because I love how this goes with that board. And for $15, I would purchase this as long as that ruler is accurate. This is made out of PLA, which is that plant fiber, which is 100% biodegradable. The ruler is 8 inches and the needle gauge goes to 12 millimeters or 17 US, all the way down to 1 US or 2.25 millimeters. So I don't know. I like these and I like that they go with the board so well. Okay, that concludes my knitting pattern accessory section. Let's move on to Cocoknits stitch markers. And this is actually where I have a lot of these items, so I can actually show them to you. So Cocoknits makes really high quality metal stitch markers, and a lot of them are coated, nylon coated steel, and they're coated, like color coded, so they make them really high quality. So let's go over some of these. I just realized none of my stitch markers are actually in these little things that they came in because they're all in my Pillboxes, which is how I organize all my knitting notions. So let's start off with my ride or die stitch markers, and that is the small colorful ring stitch markers. I'm going to put pictures in because there's no way my camera is going to focus on this tiny little stitch marker, but you can see how small it is. It can fit up to a US size 7 or 4.5 millimeter needle, which is perfect for most of my projects. They do have an original stitch marker, which goes up to a US size 13 or 9 millimeter needle. So they have 2 different sizes, and these are $10. I don't know how many it comes with. 60. It comes with 60. So for me, these are my ride or die. I would continue to purchase these. I would continue to purchase these if they doubled the price of them. That's how much I love these stitch markers. I would obviously be like more precious with them if they doubled the price of them, like metal detecting every time I drop one. But I absolutely love these, and I feel like I cannot live without them, and I can't go back to any other stitch markers now that I've used them. If you take anything away from this video, it's that you should try the small nylon coated metal stitch markers from Cocoknits. I have several other nylon coated metal stitch markers from them. I recently purchased their colorful opening stitch markers, and these are like the safety pin stitch markers, the safety pin stitch markers. These were kind of just a little sweet treat for me. I did not need these. I had regular non-colorful ones, but I really wanted the colorful ones. I like to use these to count my rows when I'm knitting socks, because I knit about 60, well actually I've been doing less, but I knit around 50 to 55 rows for my foot for a sock. And so I will mark every 10 rows. That way it's just easier to count instead of counting those little tiny stitches. And just having different colors was just a delight. So I splurged and treated myself to these $10 stitch markers. So I'm gonna add these to bag even though I already have them, just so we can kind of calculate how much I would be spending here. I also bought the split ring markers, and these are also nylon coated metal markers, and these are $10 as well. There are 6 different colors, and you get 60 stitch markers in all these sets, so you get 10 of each color. So if you wanted to like color coordinate them for a project, you would have 10 of all the colors. And I bought these thinking I was going to use these to denote my rows on my socks, but they're a little thick for the small stitches. So I haven't actually really found an exact use for these, but I do like the idea of them. They're basically like a non-locking stitch marker. So if you wanted to mark something like a drop stitch or like the right side versus the wrong side, you could use something like this. I've heard these are great for crochet. I personally like these. They're really high quality. I just haven't really found like what I would use them for, but I have been using them here or there for like progress keepers or stuff like that. I just said I didn't really find a use for them, and then I listed 3 ways I've been using them. But what I mean is like I didn't really buy them for that. I've just been finding ways to use them. I don't know if they're necessary. Like I feel I could easily use the safety pin ones, but I do like them. I just feel like they're really nice quality and the weight of them is really nice. So I would definitely try them, even though I've tried them. I would suggest them. I would try suggest, right? right? I would suggest them. Okay, let's move on. So as well as the small and the original size for these stitch markers, they do also have a jumbo size, and that's $10 as well. I have no use for these. I don't really knit that big, but if you like big stitch markers, then you could try those out as well. So those are a pass for me, just because of the size. They also have a set called the Precious Metal Stitch Markers, and here you have gold, silver, and copper colors. They are steel, so they're not actually gold and silver and copper and whatnot. And they do have a small size in there. They come with small, medium, and the locking stitch markers. And I do like to use these when I'm using my colorful ones. I'll use one of the metal ones as like the beginning of round, and then I use the color ones to denote like my color work chart or a repeat section. And then these are different, so they let me know it's the beginning of round. The copper ones have tarnished a lot. I don't really care. It's fine. Like, they're not gonna. But yeah, all the copper ones are kind of ugly now. But the silver and gold ones are fine. Just throw them everywhere. It's fine. So I wouldn't purchase these again just because I like the nylon coated ones so much more. So that's a pass. There are two more sets. They have triangle stitch markers. I have never tried these, but I don't think I would. I personally don't like to knit with stitch markers that might cause you to like knit a larger stitch. Like I have these cute flower stitch markers that are also nice nylon coated metal, but I just don't use them because I feel like when I go to knit the next stitch, sometimes it leaves a millimeter left over of yarn there that'll give me an ugly stitch, and I just don't want to be dealing with that. So that's why I love those small ones. I feel like these triangles might have that happen too. So I wouldn't try these. I would pass on those. That being said, there is a flight of stitch markers that comes with all sorts of stitch markers for $24, and it does include some of those triangle ones, and I would try these out. I would gift these. I feel like this is a wonderful gift to give somebody who's just starting knitting, all these beautiful stitch markers, all these beautiful colors. So I do think that this is great. I have bought this and gifted it, but I've never had it myself, but it's just cute, you know, and you get somebody who's just getting started, like all these cute little stitch markers, or somebody who's already been knitting for a long time and you want to get them something. This right here, I feel like is a cute, good gift. So that concludes the stitch marker category of Cocoknits. Let's move on to a lighter category. I want to do a short one before I do the long one. Let's do the blocking. So Cocoknits has a knitter's blocking kit, and you can buy some of the stuff individually, but I'm just going to go over it as a kit here to save time. It's $89 for the kit, and it comes with 18 interlocking fiber-topped EVA foam tiles, each one measuring 12 by 12, 40 stainless steel T-pins. It comes with a cotton cloth that is 48 square inches with 1-inch square gingham to help measure, and a sturdy jute bag that contains a kit. I think this is beautiful and cute and adorable. I just think the price is too high for me. I have felt these, and they are definitely nicer quality than the ones that I have, which I will show you. They have like a nice soft side and then a foam side. I don't really know why the gingham cloth is a thing. My blocking mats have a graph on them, and I never really use that. I don't actually know how accurate it is, but so I don't know if I would really want to use a cloth. Just don't know if I would need that. I think this is beautiful. Like if someone gifted this to me, I would be really happy. I just don't think I would spend $90 on this because look at this. This is the best one. My cats have absolutely destroyed these. So I would be so sad if I spent that much money on something and the cats destroyed them. I don't know how much I bought this for. I bought these November 25th in 2022 for $37.99. So these are half the price. They don't come with a cute little bag or the fabric, but like I said, I don't think I would use the fabric. The bag is cute. They did come with pins. So these work fine for me. They double as cat scratchers. If I ever won the lottery and wanted to like elevate every knitting aspect, would I purchase these? Once these were destroyed, then yeah. Okay, let's move on. So like I said, they do sell the gingham cloth separately. So if you think that that's something you would use, it is $18. It's called the Check Your Gauge cloth. It is 100% cotton, 48 by 48, and each one of those squares is an inch. I don't know how accurate that is. I don't know how accurate they're able to do that, but if it's accurate, I feel like, somebody could find use out of that. Next up for blocking materials, we have the super absorbent towel, and that is $25. It is 85% cotton, 10% peat polyester, and 5% PE. And it's packaged in a linen drawstring. I have felt this at the yarn store and it's soft, and I would try this. I don't know if I'd add it to cart just because I would want to know that it works. If it did work, like it was super absorbent, I think I would definitely want to try this out. It's something that I wish that I had was like a designated towel for blocking my knits, just because I have blocked things in the past and like bled color on my white bath towels, which is fine. They're not like the whitest anymore. But yeah, I'm on the fence about if I want to add this to my cart or not. I think I would. I do like this. I also like this because I feel like I need to wash and store all my knits for the season because it's 90 degrees outside. I feel like that's just going to be so many towels that I have to wash after that. So I think I'm going to add it to my cart. Last up for blocking is the Sweater Care Pop-Up Dryer. I have talked about this, that I would buy this in the past, and I still feel like I would. For $28, you get this potato chip thing that you can lay your sweaters on to help them dry faster. And I think I would still want to try this too. Would it be for blocking? I think so. I can't actually, now that I'm thinking about this, this may be more of a sweater care thing, because I don't know if you would want to do this for your initial block, unless you're not somebody who like pins things out. If you are washing your knits, I feel like the airflow would be nice. I mean, the way they have the sweater out, I feel like would be fine for your initial block. It's not like anything's drooping or hanging. I'm curious, if you have this, do you use this for your initial block or just for when you wash your knits? Anyways, it's in my cart. That concludes the blocking category. So we still have knitting tools, which is the largest one, and knitting garment care. Let's go over that one. So first off, we have the Fuzz Off Comb number 2. I feel like I've seen people talk about this and talk about how you can buy like cheap eyebrow razors for so much cheaper than this. And that's true. You can at the dollar store, at TJ Maxx, at Amazon. You can get a huge pack of eyebrow razors. I've seen this in the store and it's bigger and it's refillable. And I think the razors are better quality because those eyebrow razors are disposable, single use, like you shave once and they're done. These, I think, are better quality than that. For $25, I still think I think you can buy a de-pilling machine cheaper than this, which I have purchased. Yeah, I don't remember what it's called, but it's a de-pilling like thing, and I have one, and I feel like I paid probably $25 for it. If I was going to buy one, I think I would stick with that one because it's like faster. But I do like this, and there's another version that they have that's like a switchblade one, and I think they both take the same refill razors. I like this though for like on the go. So like if you're somebody who wears knitwear all the time, I think this would be great to throw into your purse. That way, if you're on the go, you can, shave your little baubles or pills off if you notice them. Or if you're running out the door and you're like, I don't have time to shave this thing, you have this thing that you can shave the pills off when you're out and about. So I would try this. I like this. I'm not putting it in my cart right now, but I would try it. The Fuzz Off Comb is similar, but it's like a switchblade one. I feel like they're kind of the same thing, so it just depends on like which one you would like more. They're both kind of easy to travel with because they have like a way to cover the razor. Well, they're both $25, so I think it would just depend on your preference. For me, actually, I don't know which one I would prefer. I think I like the ergonomics of the round one. I think the switchblade blend, I would be too afraid I was going to cut something. And the comb refills are $5 and you get 3 comb refills. Those are not cheap either, but I do think that they are probably more long lasting than those cheap disposable razors that you get from the dollar store. Yes, if you're on a budget and you don't want to buy this, you could totally use the cheap razors, but they're going to be smaller. So like if you want to de-pill, you're going to have to work harder. And they're more waste for the environment, whereas this, you have one thing that you're using and you're just buying the refills. So that's why I would try these, even though they are more expensive than your Dollar Tree razor. Continuing with sweater care, we have the sweater care brush for $15. And I just don't know. I don't know why anybody would use this. Is anybody brushing their sweaters? I don't know. Maybe I've just never made a sweater that needed to be brushed. But for me, this is a pass. Okay, lastly, I have a sweater washing bag, sweater care washing bag. I don't have any sweaters that I would ever wash in the washing machine because I knit with wool primarily, not superwash wool. But I do wash my socks in the washing machine occasionally. I kind of go 50-50 depending on how desperate I am for the socks. $10 for this bag for the small and $12 for the large. I don't feel like I have a place in my life for this, so this is a pass for me. Okay, let's move on to tools, and this is the biggest section here. We got a lot of things to talk about though still. Okay, let's move on, but maybe go a little bit faster. Let's talk about their stitch stoppers. Is that what they're called? Yes, they're stitch stoppers. I actually have these. These I've used and they are wonderful. They are $12 and you get all sorts of sizes for your stitch stoppers. I think they're great. I think they're a inexpensive alternative to those really cute like flower or whatever designs that you can get that are like $10 or $12. Maybe I've seen them for $8, but they're usually around $10. Although I think they're aesthetic and beautiful and cute and they bring me joy, this is a great alternative if you're just trying to save some money for $12 to get so many. You get 4 each of 6 sizes, so 24 pieces, so 12 potential projects if you had 12 projects that happen to fit all these stitch stoppers. But I will tell you this, don't do my mistake. If you're gonna buy these, don't buy the sad gray ones. I don't know why I bought the sad gray ones. They're so sad. Also, the colors of the grays are not different enough to like know for sure, like, is this the same size as this one or are they slightly different? So I would definitely recommend getting the earth tone ones or the colorful ones. Just, you'll thank me for that one because the gray ones like are depressing. They're actually depressing. I do lose them, but it's okay because it's like they're not $10 each like my other ones that I have to be really precious with, you know? But I will find them occasionally randomly. I was not very precious with these, but my bad. I've lost a lot of them. But they are great. They are great, especially the smaller ones with the really small holes in them. Okay, let's talk about Notion organization. Here they have 2 different options. And the first one is the accessory roll for $36. I can't believe I paid $36 for this. I don't like this. And I talked about this in my knitting tools that you don't need video. It is like a roll that you can put knitting notions in. And for me, this is just so like over the top of me having to get something out of here. Like each one of these things, I mean, it's really cool. It feels really natural and like really homemade. I don't find a use out of this. I actually said, I feel like this would be better for like pens. Like if you're like someone who likes to scrapbook or journal or something, but it's not long enough. So I will be taking this to like the next yarn swap that I can find and finding an owner that will like this because I do not like this. So this is a extra pass for me. I also cannot believe I paid $36 for this now looking at that price. Was I rolling in money? I don't know. Okay, next up is the project wallet. And I'm looking at these photos and I don't understand how anybody would use these for actual knitting notions. Like it doesn't make sense. Like it looks like a photo that was taken because the photo looked good, but it doesn't look practical at all to me. I feel like this is more like a way to organize business cards or some other type of cards, or maybe like knitting patterns, but like only if you print them out that size, like that little square. So I'm putting this in, I don't know who's buying this because it just doesn't seem very practical to me. Like I'm not saying it's a horrible product, I just don't understand how you would use this in like the knitting world. Like I feel like you couldn't throw a bunch of loose stitch markers in there, they would come out. And she has this picture of all these things in there and it just does not seem practical. So that's who is buying this? Okay, next up, I'm going to briefly go over, so they've got darning needles, like a stitch fixture, double pointed needles, and cable needles. Because these are kind of just something that I feel like, these are more regular things, right? These are not that innovative. They're just things. Although I will say their tapestry needles are nice because they're angled. And I have purchased these before, mostly because they come in a pack at my local yarn store for $6 for 4, and you don't have to buy like a thing, like a little plastic pill thing that comes with a bunch of them. So if you just need a couple, I think it's more than the thing that comes with a bunch of them, but I just wanted a couple needles. I didn't want like a whole thing. So I have purchased these in the past. The stitch fixture is $6, and this is just a crochet hook. Everyone is always trying to rebrand the crochet hook, which, I mean, that's fine. It's cute, it's small. I'm gonna pass on this one. But the darning needles I would try, or I have tried, I would recommend. The stitch fixer, it's just a pass for me. All right, let's move on to the cable needles. I would try the cable needles. I mean, they just look like basic cable needles to me. Okay, next up is the yarn snip, and this is a beautiful aesthetic little yarn snipper. And I think this is absolutely stunning. Forged black steel, and it has a leather point protector. I absolutely love this. I use like little plastic snips, and they come in a pack of 5 of them from Amazon for like $5. I don't understand how that's even possible. So obviously this is quite more expensive, but the quality is so much more. I think these are beautiful. And the only thing is I would be worried about is like throwing them into a bag, even though it has that leather protector. And I think the scissors kind of like naturally want to separate, so it would keep it on there. But I'd still kind of be afraid that that would come off and like damage my project. But I think they're cute, and I think they would be cute like on my coffee table, because I knit a lot in the living room, and they could just be like the snips that live on the table. Like they're not going around snips. They are coffee table snips. So I'm gonna add these to my cart because they're gorgeous. I was gonna say if I had an endless amount of money, I would buy 5 or 6 of them and keep them in each of my bag, but I would have to test it out to see how dangerous that could potentially be if that thing came off. I guess it would depend, like if you had a project bag that had a pocket you could keep it in, then it would be fine. Just things to keep in mind there. Okay, let's move on to the row counter. I have this row counter, and I have used it plenty of times, and I really like it. It's really basic. It's really sleek. I love that it's magnetic on the back of it, so it goes with their watch, which I haven't talked about, but they have like it's not a watch, but like a wristband. But I will use it. I use the magnet on my phone for stitch markers all the time, or like to keep my row counter on it. So I don't know, does anyone else do this? I feel like I'm always throwing stitch markers here and forgetting them, and then leaving the house, and will be like a stitch marker on the back of my phone. It's really basic, it's locked. Row counter, but I would definitely buy this again or suggest it. It's great. It's, like I said, it's basic, but it gets the job done. And I think for $15, it's good. I'm sure you can find them for cheaper, but I like this one and I wouldn't change it. So I'd buy it again. Next up is the Maker's Keep, which is that watch strap. I keep calling it a watch, but it's like a wristband strap that I was talking about. And it's $20, and it comes in 5 different colors. And it is just a magnet wristlet. And oh, on the opposite side, it has like inches. I love that. This is so cute. Okay, I love this. Do I need it? $20. I feel like I don't need it, but I would definitely try it. If someone gave this to me, I'd be happy. I feel like I would use this more sewing maybe, but if I had it for sewing, if I already had it, I would probably use it for knitting. If I was like, I'm gonna sit and knit for a while, then I would wear it. But otherwise, like I wouldn't wear this like at a coffee shop while I was knitting. Okay, so I would try it. Next up, we have the needle gauge reader, and I think this thing is super cute. This is so cute. I like this. I feel like this is very innovative. This is very Cocoknits, like their design where they thought this through. I feel like I don't need this because I already have my ruler thing in the cart, but I would definitely try this. And I think it's cute and small and compact. Do I need it? I don't know. It is really cute and compact. I just don't know. The only time I really use a gauge needle reader is like the DPNs, the random DPNs that came from who knows where that I have. Like probably somebody got it at a estate sale and gave it to me, like, oh, she likes knitting, and they give me all these needles, and a lot of them I don't use because they're stick needles, but I end up using the DPNs, and I have an old gauge ruler, like the whole thing, so I don't need this, but I do think it's cute. And if someone gave it to me, I would be very happy. I would try it. Okay, let's move on to something else I have that I didn't like is the leather cord and needle stitch holder. So you can get the leather cord set for $8 or the leather cord and needle stitch holder kit for $24. I did talk about this in my last video that I don't like these. just don't like them. They're not for me. The leather is very rough. So like when you're trying to move stitch markers around, it doesn't work. This is like you stick the leather into this needle as hard as you can. And that also to me is really easy to pull it off. So these are a pass for me. These are a pass. These are a hard pass. I will definitely be taking this to a yarn swap. I did like the idea of this. I bought this before barber cords, or at least I knew about barber cords. And these are just nowhere near as like easy to use as barber cords, even though these are all natural. I like the idea of these. I think they're very pretty. They're very aesthetically pleasing, but these are a no. Hard pass. Okay, moving on. The maker's clips. And I see these in the yarn store all the time and I think about buying them every time. They are $15 and they come with 2 and they're just a little magnet clip that you can put on your bags. And I feel like this would be great for stitch markers when you are working on things and you're taking them on and off. Like I said, I use my phone. So that's why I haven't purchased this or why I'm not going to put it in my cart, but I do like them and I would try them. I just feel like for me, I would lose these. Like these are something that I would need to buy multiples of and I would keep losing them. So for $15, I just haven't made that commitment for something that I know I'm going to lose, but I do like them. I think they're a great idea and I would use them. Next up, we have the claw clips and these are hilarious to me because I actually have like a regular version of these that you buy from like Sally's or whatever because my bangs sometimes don't like cooperate and I'll just pin them back when I'm really lazy. So I use these little claw clips all the time and I've actually used them when I was swatching the acorn pullover to like make sure my lace had some weight to it so I would know how much it would grow when I like knit a full sweater, which looks like what they're using them for here. So I would try these. I think for $5 you get 12. I'm sure you could buy these cheaper. These are made of PLA, plant fibers. I wouldn't wear these in my hair. They don't match my hair color. But if you wanted to keep maybe some separate from your hair ones, like maybe these would be great because you wouldn't wear these in your hair. I don't know why you would want to keep them separate, but maybe you would. So I think these are fine, but I'm not going to add them to my cart right now. Lastly, we have their little measuring tapes, and these are $15 for one of them? No. Are these $15 for one of them? I can't believe these are $15 each for a measuring tape. That's crazy. Okay, these are PLA, so they're that like biodegradable plastic that's derived from plants, and they're cute and colorful. I initially was just going to say pass on these because there's something about them that I don't like. I don't know what it is. I don't like the shape of them. They remind me of like some type of insect, but there's nothing wrong with them. They're cute. I feel like if you like them, they would be cute. And I like that they're different colors. So if you wanted to like have different colors to choose from, I like to keep a measuring tape in each one of my bags, which is why I could not afford to do this because these are just too expensive for me. I buy them in packs. I recently bought a pack on Amazon and split it between my mom because I made her like a little gift for Mother's Day to get her started knitting. So I put a few in her bag. Obviously, this is better for the environment. This is better for everybody, but it's just if it's not in your price range, then it's not in my price range. So, you know, do what you can afford and that makes this craft accessible to you. But for me, these are a pass. I don't know why I don't like these. I feel like everything is so aesthetic at Cocoknits and the colors are aesthetic, but I just don't like the shape. Is that me being really nitpicky? That's it. We're done. We did it. Okay, so my total in my cart, I have got, oh, why is that in there? Okay, I have the yarn snips. I have the Sweater Care pop-up dryer, the super absorbent towel, the colorful ring stitch markers. Even though I already have these, I put them in the cart because actually, I need some more. The colorful opening stitch markers, I don't need more of those, but I'm just hypothetically putting them in here because I would buy them if I didn't have them already. The ruler and gauge set, which goes with my craft maker's board. So my total for today is $134 of knitting tools. Let me know in the comments what are your favorite Cocoknits tools and which ones that you would try out. Okay, perfect timing because I am out of time. Mr. Cheek is home. But that was my Cocoknits hit and miss. Again, this is all my opinions. If you liked anything that I didn't like and are offended, I'm so sorry. But this is just my opinion. That's all I have for y'all today. Have a video coming out next week and then the week after that. And then I may be taking a break. I'm still thinking about it, but I'm 90% sure I'm going to take July off. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to catch the next one. Thank you so much. Bye.